It's the OCGFAM show. Today we're talking about going buck wild with the microbes, or maybe you shouldn't. Let's discuss. Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCGFAM show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Let me know in the comments and we'll talk about it after the show. But right now, let's just get into the show because I want to talk to you about microbes. So, a while back, we had a thing called the Comprehensive Kit. And what that kit was, I thought it was pretty cool. I helped put the thing together. It had all the basic nectar for the gods you needed, but it also had sample sizes of a whole bunch of stuff. Microbe Life, SLF 100, Full On, all of the cultured teas, Megaphos, a bunch of stuff in there. And it was a pretty neat deal because you got to try all those different things that can be some fairly expensive products. You got to give them a try before you bought them for real and see which ones worked for you and which ones didn't. But I think there was this kind of feeling among people because I also put a chart in there, a feeding chart in there that showed how to use all of them, that maybe, just maybe you should use all that stuff if you're serious about your grow. You should use every one of those things. And that was never my intention or Scott's intention or any of us. It was just to give you a chance to try all those things out and show you how to do it. So when we made the starter kit, we went kind of in the other direction with just the basic Nectar for the Gods products and just these two things, the SLF 100, which I think anybody would have in a nectar grow, and then the Microbe Life, which is an excellent microbial product, but a simple one, and just use these two and move on. And certainly all those other products, OCG still sells those. They're all good stuff. They're excellent stuff. Recommend all of them. But maybe you don't need to use all of them, and that's what we were talking about. There was a viewer question, I think it was last viewer questions episode about, hey, I'm using a bunch of these things, and I also want to think about adding Mammoth P to it. And Scott and I talked about it a little bit, and it was interesting because it gave kind of a strategy for whether those things overlap, and if you were using a bunch of them, how you would use them, and why you might not use them. I'm going on and on. Let me just show you the clip, and I'll talk to you after. Okay, so he's using all those. He's using the Photo Plus and the SLF and the Culture Trigger too. Okay. And he says, I'm interested in Mammoth P, I assume. Can all of these additives be used together, or are they similar and unnecessary? Thanks for an opinion. They're not the same, but
there's a lot of redundancy. I mean, some would argue that Photo Plus has the same phosphorus consumers in it than Mammoth P.
Yeah, who would argue? Yes, absolutely.
SLF is unique, so that one I'd hold on to because that one's just interesting.
Yeah, so it's SLF, but all those three others are not similar in label, but similar in practice.
Similar in practice.
Photo Plus way cheaper than all of those.
Well, yeah, and I mean, Trigger's different in the sense of the microbial makeup is supposed to be different. So, I mean, I would be using Photo Plus more in late veg and early bloom. I'd be using the Trigger in the beginning of veg and maybe the transition into bloom, and then the Easy Bloom tea after that. Or you can go Mammoth P. There's a lot of phosphorus-fixing microbes out there, so I think it's finding one that really works for you.
Well, there's like that other one, the dry stuff.
Megaphos.
But, I don't know, it's funny because Mammoth has kind of marketed themselves, it feels like, as a unique thing. Like, a lot of these things say, we're some microbes. More microbes better. They're like, no, this is a thing. Yeah. And I think it maybe hurts them more than it helps them to try to...
Oh, I think there's a sense of that for sure. I mean, they did really good at marketing. They got out of the gate super fast. Yeah. But I think if I had a budget, I would probably look at the Photo Plus for being more of a broad spectrum microbe with the same P fixers than running just a P fixing microbe.
Well, when we were talking about the starter kit that got over OCG, it was, the Photo Plus and the SLF were a simple solution.
Affordable, simple solution.
Yeah, maybe not the best, but arguably just the same, Yeah.
I've been using their shit in my pond for years, so... Yeah,
so,
so what's the question?
Do you have an opinion about using all those things? So I guess, I'll posit an opinion. I would say that if it were me, I'd use the Photo Plus and the SLF because it's just easy. But if I was going to use the Mammoth or use the Trigger, I might pull off on not use the Photo Plus.
Oh, well, I mean...
I don't know.
No, it's like using, Trinity from Aurora, Zeus from us, BioEggs, BioHumic. I mean, it's like... You can only use so many humics before it's just a redundant nightmare. Yeah. So the nice thing about different people's phosphorus fixing, different people's nitrogen fixings is you get these diversities of what they bed them in, what their food sources are. So if you have all of them, what I would do is like
split it up.
Go feed, and then a tea with half of these microbes in, and the next time you do the other half of the microbes. Or you do it specifically to the region or the season they're in.
But you might find that mammoth is your huckleberry for your particular genetic or something, or maybe not, or who knows?
Maybe. I don't know.
Who knows? So I play with them, but...
I was going to say, I mean, what I would do is just take lots of notes, and I would be paying them really, like, run a whole round without them, then run around with just SLF, make your notes, run around with the Photo Plus, make your notes, see which ones are actually doing something for you, the grower. Because not all these things, I mean, I've had people come back saying, yeah, well, I tried that thing you recommended, and I saw no difference. Then I wouldn't, if I was you, I wouldn't add that other thing I recommended, because if you didn't see a difference, then there's clearly nothing taking your breath away. So why spend the money on just because somebody else recommended it doesn't mean you should run it.
Well, and if you're going to spend brain power, you might spend it on your watering strategy or your hurt to PK ratio or things like that.
What we're discovering nowadays with all that alkalinity crap, it's like, whoa,
There's a lot more.
There's so much more to it all of a sudden.
Because I'm putting this much Mammoth P, and I'm putting this much water. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, what do you think of that? Did you find that informative, entertaining? You get something out of it? Which microbials do you use, and why? And are there ones in there you thought you might try because you saw them there? Let's just discuss that in general, and also, like I said before, any questions about the alkalinity, throw those in the comments too, because we're going to be talking about that with Scott shortly. So that's the show for today. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. The OCG Fam Show. It's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. See you tomorrow.